when you are going through the interview process, and it comes to the question, and maybe I don't know what your experience has been, but typically in interviews there are questions that are around like what is your work authorization, or what's the situation here. How
Yeah.
would you typically answer that?
Yeah, I first of all, I suggest honor with full honesty. Like I never lie a bit in any of those things, and I do not suggest anybody lie about your visa
Yeah.
status or your work authorization requirement. I would just be very transparent. If they ask me, I would say yes, I do require sponsorship in the future, and my current status is an F1 status, and I have 3 years of OPT. So you make sure to have all these information ready for them to answer. But sometimes they don't ask this question until the very end of the interview, where you have the entire process to prove that you are a very worthy candidate. So that happened to actually all of my job offers, job interviews, that, they did pop the question, but at that point, they already formed this impression that, hey, WanQ is somebody that is worth sponsoring. And in fact, I asked my senior manager right now in my company, I asked him, like, what was the thing that was holding you back when you were hiring me? There must be something. And then he said, no, everything else was fine. The only thing was the work authorization. I'm like, oh, yeah, like that's something that I couldn't change. And then he said, it's a risk for the company. So that's all that it is. But I do remember when I first started looking for jobs, going into career fairs, there will be people asking me that. And I say, yeah, yeah, I need sponsorship. And they would be like, oh, sorry, we don't sponsor. And I would take that so personally. Like I would be like,
Yeah.
this is not fair. Like it's not because of me. Like we don't want to be like rejected because of us, your visa status. We don't want to be rejected. But I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna reject us at all, I want it to be because I'm not there yet. I don't have enough experience, or some other reasons other than I was having this visa stuff status. So it was hard at the beginning, but I got used to it over time. And I think it helps to really adjust your mindset of like, there are more opportunities out there for you. If this doesn't work out, there's more. And I think I am a proven evidence that there are companies
Yeah.
out there that are willing to sponsor if you're good enough, if you meet the requirement, if you prove that you can do your job. And I think this became less and less an issue as I accumulated more network, as I accumulated more leverage, such as
Right.
internship experience, my education, and all of these soft skills and hard skills that I learned over the years. I think that made it harder for them to reject me just because of that visa issue. They would have a second thought, like, hey, maybe she is worth sponsoring.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you bring up a really important point. And I mean, thank you for all of that. Because I think when I'm hearing you go through what you experience, I mean, one thing stands out for sure, that it's really impressing people on the other side of the table with what you can do, how you present yourself. I mean, the goods have to be there,
Yeah.
and they need to fall in love with you, so to speak,
Yeah.
during the process. That when they reach that end of the process or close to the end and they ask the question, then it's like it's more for information at that point because they're so taken by your candidacy, your expertise, your background.
Yeah.
Okay.